What are you looking for these first few days before you really get rolling?
There's a lot of things we're looking for. First off, just in terms of the energy that we bring each and every day, and like I told the team, I think it's a reasonable expectation that we got to show that daily improvement, the urgency that how we approach everything we do, and so. But I think the guys are excited, and I know I'm excited to get back out there and ready to roll.
As fans watch practice, they get used to watching 2-minute drills, really competitive periods at the end of practice. But in light of trying to finish more this year, will the fans notice anything in practice as you try to focus in on?
Well, I think there's a time and a place for all that. I always like to have a competitive period each and every day. I think just where we are as a team. I mean, you guys saw the injury list for opening day at camp is pretty extensive. So we're going to temper back on some of those competitive periods, at least early on, until we get the pads on.
Now, how do you plan to handle the kicking competition? Will they kick the same days, kick every other day? How will they go head to head?
I think it's going to be, the best way I could put that, it's going to be very fluid. There could be some days where they both kick. Cam's got a good handle on it. Obviously, with Matt out there, it kind of throws a wrench into some of the things we wanted to do. There's always competition, whether it's at kicker, every position on the roster. Certainly, we drafted Trey, so we definitely have high hopes for him and understand that with all young kickers, there's typically some growing pains that are associated with that. But, just want to push him to be his best.
What was your reaction to D-Y getting that contract extension?
Oh, I was super fired up. I mean, it's always cool to see your guys get rewarded for the work that they put in. And it's not, like I told the team, it's not just by the work you do on the field. It's your actions off the field and what kind of teammate you are. And I think he understands the responsibility that comes with that in itself, and in terms of being a leader in that room and helping some of those young guys along.
Trey isn't your first rookie kicker that you've coached. What have you learned from your past experiences, maybe with Augers and Brady, that might help kind of with the patience required?
Well, I think every situation's a little bit different, but I think it just kind of tempers your expectation level a little bit, and understand that there could be some moments that aren't favorable, but you got to live through it. And I think the talent, we all see the talent. It's just, can we harness that? And it's like every player out there, you got to have a level of consistency that's conducive to winning.
And did the Musgrave thing catch you by surprise at all? And if so, how does that change, where you are with your tight end?
Yeah, I think so. But it is what it is. Those are the circumstances. All you can control is how you respond to those. So I'm excited. It's going to be opportunities for these other guys to see what they can do and how they can contribute. But certainly, you never want to see a guy like he's. I know he may not have the production that certainly he wants up to this point in his career. But I do think that he's got a legit premier trait in terms of the speed, and you got to account for that on every play.
Is that why you dropped out of any camp for this injury, or is this something totally different?
No, that's exactly why.
Matt, with Micah out, what do you want to see from that group in camp as they look to get their opportunity as well?
Well, I think we all know what type of player Mike is. He's a game wrecker. So I think, again, it's other opportunities for other guys to showcase what they can do. And there's a lot of youth in that group. And some guys that have been here for a couple of years that are just chomping at the bit to show what they can do.
How high are you on your two rookies in that group, Chris McClellan and Deniden and Sutton?
Yeah, I mean, we haven't seen these guys in pads, so I think we all got to temper our expectations in that regard. But I think early indications from being in just shorts and a T-shirt have been positive.
At the NFL meetings, you talked to those guys about there were some guys that were unhappy with their roles and it took a toll on your team.
players coach, you seem genuine in wanting to have guys all feel like they're invested and have a role and are important to your team. You also can't have guys being ticked off. So how have you kind of, can you change your approach as a coach? Because you kind of are who you are, and at the same time, that you said that was problematic.
Yeah, I think that, I think role clarity is key. I think that's our job as coaches, like, hey, here's your role. If you want a bigger role, then you gotta go out there and do it at the end of the day. So that puts some onus on the players. Certainly, they gotta have their opportunities, whether it's in practice or in those preseason games, to start to establish themselves a little bit. But, you know, it is what it is at the end of the day. Our job is to put the best out there to give us the best opportunity to go win football games, and that's what we're gonna do.
But you don't want to change who you are, right? Like, there's a reason why guys went to bat for you with Ed last year after the season, because they believed in you and the way you do your job. So you have to stay true to who you are, even if there were some challenges from last
Yeah,
year.
100%. I think that you are who you are, and certainly I do take great pride in how we go about our business, and it's not just me, it's everybody. But it's how we communicate to the players, and then, you know, just be direct in terms of, here's how we see it, and now it's on you to go, if you don't like that narrative that's been painted, it's on you to go change that.
Matt, over your tenure as head coach, how much has training camp changed for you in your plans for practices, your approach? You've had really veteran teams, really young teams, you got a lot of injuries to start camp this year.
Yeah, I think every year you got to evolve, and we talk about it all the time. It's either adapt or die. I mean, you can't control who's available, who's not available. Certainly, the medical isn't in charge of that piece, and you have to adapt as a coach and try to make it work at the end of the day. And our job is to push our guys and get a little bit better each and every day.
Are there any limitations or rep count on Marshawn Lloyd in camp as he gets started?
Not per se, but I think we have learned from our experiences. I think we want to gradually get him more and more involved and see where it goes.
You know, speaking of Lloyd and Oliver as well, you've been injured a bunch, healthy now. Do you have much of a feel for what either of those guys could give you on Sundays, or is this a big month to kind of show you what they can do?
I think it's going to be, they got to go out and prove it. And just the availability piece is as important as anything. Certainly, we've seen flashes from both those guys, what they are capable of doing, but you got to be available in order to go do that.
Any concern with the Javon Hargrave injury, or just him being on the physically unable to perform list to begin?
No long-term concerns. And he's a veteran guy that's been through it. So certainly it is new. I mean, it's a new place for him. And even he was telling JG, he's like, the scheme's a lot different than it was when we were together in Philly. So yeah, there's going to be a little bit of a learning curve, but nothing that's a long-term concern for us right now.
Does the uncertainty with Josh's situation in any way kind of affect how you treat Marshawn in camp? Because you got to make sure you have a running game in place for the season, but you also obviously want to be cautious with him.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think more or less I would say in regards to Marshawn specifically, it's how can we give him and increase his volume each and every day, and what we're allowing him to do at practice.
Matt, your old DC, Jeff Hafley down there in Miami made some headlines because he's incorporating live tackling into his procedures there. Did you ever lobby for that here, and have you talked to Gannon about the possibility?
No, it's not surprising when you have a young roster, and certainly we've done some of that in the past. We did it, going back to the COVID year. We had some live tackling situations in Lambeau to try to get some of those young guys. And when you have a young team, and sometimes you take the gloves off a little bit and let it rip. But I think even last year we had, I want to say on family night, we had a live situation. So we'll sprinkle those in, and it's more centered around our younger players to try to get them primed and ready to go. Because, I mean, shoot, we'll be tackling in those live situations here in a couple weeks.
Coach,
Coach, what goes through your mind when you see the devastation just down the road in Menasha and Appleton? And do you know if there's any plans for the Packers to help those victims?
Yeah, it's terrible. I mean, certainly never want to see it wherever it's at, but it hits a little bit different, I would say, when it's closer to home. You know, it affected a couple of my close friends. Just they had some damage done to their places, and it's sad to see. And certainly, I would think that we'll do something as an organization.
Matt, what does that do for you and the organization, the way Tucker Kraft has come back? Like, Brian was just in here saying you're probably gonna see him sooner rather than later. He's on track, just the way he's attacked his rehab. Well, how does that warm your heart, so to speak?
Tuck's a guy that he doesn't shy away from the work, and he put the work in. I mean, he always, since the day he got here, he's been a worker. And he was here all summer grinding away to put himself in this position. So that'll certainly be a huge boost for our football team when he's available.
Last two, please. Matt, how excited are you for Jordan Morgan to kind of fill into that left tackle role and solidify himself as the long-term option there?
Yeah, I think he showed a lot of good things in the spring. I think it's his most natural position. I mean, certainly he's got time on task throughout his college career there. But ultimately, like I said before, I mean, you got to prove it when the pads come on.
Matt, do you get just as excited for a day like this as you did when you started here in Green Bay? Is it still just as exciting?
Oh, absolutely. I told the team yesterday, this is as excited as I've ever been coaching this football team in my time here. And it's because of the people we have in the room. I mean, players, coaches, support staff, everybody. So we're just ready to go.
And I asked Goody this earlier too. I know you're not gonna say Super Bowl or bust up there or anything like that, but you had a pretty darn good football team at 9-3-1 last year when the injuries hit even harder. From a 30,000-foot view, what kind of team do you think you're starting camp with? I know lots of things have to go your way to get to where you want to go, but
Yeah.
what do you feel about what you make?
I'll be honest with you, I'm not even focused on that. Like, I want to focus on the day-to-day and just push these guys, and they push each other to be the best we can be. And I think that's, like I said, that's a reasonable ask. We got to get a little bit better each and every day. But I am confident in the people that we have in the room to field a pretty darn competitive football team.